Hello, I am Dale from Dale's Rock Interviews and Metalliville Online Magazine, and I am joined by Nicole. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm not just any Nicole, Nicole from the Darts, which is the Darts US for us in the UK. When we search you up, we'll never find you. Um,
I know.
I know. I was doing my research today, and the funny thing is I always listen to a few tracks from the first album, middle album, end album, so I can get a feel of the band. And it turns out I've got about five of your songs already on my playlist,
Yay!
which
That
I
worked
really
out
like.
well.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. So I was like, oh, I know this one. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Excellent.
So I've got to say, you are my sort of band. My partner will confirm that because I like female vocalists. I
So
grew
do
up
I.
I grew up with female vocalists like Cher and Elkie Brooks and singers like that, and it's just something that's deep ground into me. I just love a good female vocalist. My favorite one is Karen O from Yeah Yeah Yeahs.
Oh, I love her so much. Yes. Yes.
Yes, I know. She's amazing. There is a similarity in your voice and Karen O's.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you. That's a huge compliment that at least the way I'm taking it. That's incredible. But you're not the first person to say that. I don't hear it because I don't think I want to hear. She's too good. I don't even want to be in that stratosphere. But yeah, thank you. That's a huge
Yeah,
compliment.
I think you and Karen should really do like a duet because
Bring it
the
on. Call her.
yeah.
Call her.
With like so your voices being so similar, you've got this similar energy as well. So I think it'd be really cool.
I listened to a lot of Yeah Yeah Yeahs years ago when they were super mainstream, and I think it definitely inspired something in me. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I was saying in I think the first song I listened to, and then I think Blitz album is just
Ugh.
outstanding. But we're here to talk about you, not
Yeah.
just not swoon over Karen O. Good grief.
Oh, we could do that all day. I'm fine with that too.
So your type of music, it's down as got great interest in explanation. Elvira mixed with Wednesday Adams, consuming flesh of men, drink snake venom shots, and started a garage rock band playing at the Bride of Frankenstein's bachelorette party.
I actually didn't write that. Somebody else did, but it's not wrong.
I think also one of the reasons why I also love your band, or got into your band with the first album, is what I got most of these songs from on my playlist, is Rocky Horror, Hot Patootie, Meatloaf. It's the rock and roll aspect of it all. And the rock and roll is what I grew up with. I grew up listening to Meatloaf, and then I listened to you, and it's rock and roll. You say it's
It is.
garage, you say it's garage rock, or it's rock and roll. It's
Yeah.
rock and roll with a punk element thrown in, which I love punk, and the horror thing, especially with your new album. It just all ticks lots of boxes.
Yeah, I think we all have a lot of boxes, right? We don't just have one in our
No,
lives, in our musical lives. And yeah, it's a lot of fun for me. When I started the darts, I was coming out of a band called the Love Me Nots that
yeah,
was much more strictly garage, if you ask me.
yes,
There are garage aficionados that would probably differ, but I feel like that was very garage and very formulaic in a lot of ways and in good ways. When I started the darts, the goal was just to write kind of whatever happened with those same sort of instruments and sounds, not feeling defined by any specific genre. And I think when you have a Farfisa organ, you're gonna fit into some genres pretty quickly. So it
yeah,
didn't like jump out of garage, but it it took garage it grew tentacles, into different areas. And there's pop in there and there's some very brooding ballads that I don't know where those fit. And there's definitely some classic rock and there's punk, there's a lot of things and it's all just whatever I feel like writing that day, that's what happens in the darts. It's so
Well,
much fun.
listening to it, there's some fantastic bass in there. It's like, some songs start with some really great bass, and there's some good distorted guitar in there, and there's, the drums thrown in, and the singing's okay.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, so there's a lot of things thrown in. There's a lot of, obviously there's a lot of influences. Is it you who does most of the writing, or is it a collaborative thing?
I would say it's me almost fully. There's some exceptions to that where in the past, one of my bandmates would send me a riff or a drum beat or an idea. But in the end, I think it was always my task to even take those ideas and kind of make them into a completed song. So I'm the
Yeah,
one that would write maybe the lyrics to go with their riff and then make a bridge and make a chorus. And so I give them a lot of credit for their ideas. In fact, this last record, for the first time, Lindsay Scary, the new bassist, helped me write Midnight Creep. She came to me with a concept and an idea that she had partially written and gave me permission to just run with it. And I sort of, in her words, I dartsified it, and made it into something that we could perform and put on this record. Midnight Creep is in my mind one of my favorites on this whole record. It's just a lot of fun to
yeah.
the point where this next record that we're already have written and we're already going to be recording in August, she and I collaborated a lot on the new record, and that's the first time that I've really ever done that in the darts. So it's pretty neat.
How does that feel? Giving
It
away a bit
feels
of
great
control.
when you find you're right there. I have a control issue, and there's no question. Everybody knows that about me. But you know what? When you find the right partner who shares your vision, it's so much fun. And it's she's not a control freak like I am. So she
Yeah,
she will come to me with an idea and say, do whatever you want to it. She's not possessive over her own ideas, which to me is fascinating because I feel very differently about my ideas. And that makes us a really smooth team. We room together on the road. We drive together. We spend a lot of time together. We both live in Seattle. And she's become a huge part of my life, just generally, even outside of the music. So you're going to hear that in this next record and these songs. We have had so much fun in hotel rooms and in vans and just, you wake up at 2 in the morning and you look over and she's still on her phone and you go, "Hey, I had this idea for this one song." And she's like, "Yeah," and you can kind of hear all that slumber party stuff in
yeah.
this next record that's going to come out. It's going to be really cool.
I like that reference, slumber party and stuff. Because I've got to say, your first album, which I have actually got no, I cannot read my writing. It's absolutely terrible. The first album, The Darts, I should have really guessed that one. Um,
Well, you would have guessed wrong because actually the first records were two 10-inch EPs that
oh,
we
okay.
self-produced. And I put those out just on my own dime, 6 songs on each, 3 songs per side.
Yeah.
And that was when Dirty Water Records from the UK contacted me and said, "Do you mind if we compile those and make those into one full length called The Darts?" And
Oh,
so
wow.
they did that the following year in 2017. But it was actually a comp of the two early first EPs, and not many people know that.
See, this is why I love interviews, because you find out things. It's great. So, anyway, you've totally disturbed my whole train of thought here. This is terrible.
Sorry.
Right. So, the first album, The Darts, which turned out wasn't the first album, but we'll ignore that. 2017. Um, a lot faster than your new album, which is Halloween Love Songs. That seems to slow down a little bit.
Oh, that's interesting that you say that.
Mm,
Um, one of the uh, I don't want to say new, but one of the new things that happened was we brought Ricky Sticks back on drums for Halloween Love Songs. She
yeah.
was also the drummer on those early recordings. You are correct about that. Um, but I do feel that the difference comes from her. Um, when she left the Darts for about 5 years in the middle, she went to go drum with one of my favorite all-time bands, Death Valley Girls.
Yeah.
And I was thrilled for her. I love that band to this day. And if you don't know that Death Valley Girls for your listeners, they're much more dream pop, dream rock.
Yeah,
There's a dreamy aesthetic to it. It's not necessarily slow, but it's dreamier. And
more melodic.
yeah,
Mm.
it's less driving. I definitely think that. It's one of the
Yeah,
reasons I love the band so much. Um, and I think that by playing in that band for so long, Ricky's drumming changed in two ways. It got a little bit slower, naturally. I think she
yeah,
found a pocket there that she really liked and that she could live in really comfortably and do more in without the craziness of the punk that we were doing before and the tempos. But also, she found, I think that by playing a little bit slower, there was more power. You know, you could really, in both keyboards and drumming, we find a similarity. The height of your hand defines when it lands, right? So
yeah, yeah,
the slower you play, the higher you reach to wait for that hit, right? And by doing that, you create a much more powerful stroke, both in keys and in drumming. And I think that what you're hearing on Halloween love songs are both of those things at work. The tempos are a little slower because that's where she likes to find her groove. She also doesn't, she plays to a click even live. So she doesn't let me run away with the tempos like I tend to do when I play live. My adrenaline goes and and if you follow me, you're going to be playing a punk song in no time. And I love that she reins me in with the
yeah,
tempos and keeps it forceful, keeps it powerful. And every hit that you hear us make live for the last year has been just the stage rumbles when she
yeah.
drums now. It's fantastic. And you can hear that on this record.
Right. So on your Slumber Party new album, but hang on, are we staying with are we staying with the horror theme? Is it going to be like Slumber Party Slaughterhouse? Is that the title of the album?
Great title, but no. Um, I never intended the Darts to be like a goth band. It just kind of went that way because that's how we look. That's kind of what speaks to us sometimes.
Yeah,
But as you look back through the discography, it's not always about cats and bats. There's a lot
yeah,
more going on, than that. And this next record, I don't want to give it too much away yet, but I will say that when we were writing it, Lindsay, one of the things she does on the side is she DJs a lot.
yeah,
And if you've been to a live show, that moment in the night when most people have kind of left, it's very late, the band's packing up, but the DJ still has to go, and the
yeah,
DJ's still spinning. And it's at that point in the night when a different kind of dance party starts. The band is packing up their stuff and grooving to these weird garage 45s that the DJ finally brought out because they know the band is going to love it and nobody else might, and it becomes a whole different party. And this next record, we wrote it with that moment in mind, that
okay,
late night garage dance party. It's not really fully garage. It's like garage disco, but
yeah,
it's definitely for that late night dance party and it's not very gothy, to be honest.
yeah. Oh, I'm intrigued. You're not going to tell me the album title, are you? If you've
I'm
got one.
not because mainly because we haven't chosen it yet. I'll keep your ideas in mind though.
I'm going to be really disappointed if you're not going to call it Slumber Party, to be fair.
Slumber Party Slaughterhouse is actually a great idea.
Make sure you put my name on the back,
Yeah, we'll send you
credit
the
me.
8 cents of royalties that we make on it. Yes.
But you've got the Halloween love songs, Halloween love songs. It's like this is my radio DJ voice because I'm starting radio tomorrow for the first time. I'm a
It's
bit
very
nervous, but
nice. I
my,
like
my
it.
radio DJ voice, Halloween love songs.
Sounds way better when you say it low.
So why Halloween love songs? Tell me about the concept. Tell me what brought you into the Halloween world and doing love songs.
Well,
They're not
um,
really love songs, but yeah.
they're only love songs in the sense that it seems like I always seem to come back to writing lyrics about bad love because that's my life. And it's what I know best. And they say all art comes from suffering, right? So
Yes.
that's where it lands for me is that broken heart. And so a lot of the songs have that tinge to it, but you're
Yes.
right, they're not exactly love songs. Um, Halloween. I was um I was on tour in 2024 in Paris, and I was doing an interview. And like you say, interviews lead to some really interesting moments. I was doing an interview with Rock and Folk magazine in Paris, and just a side note, the interviewer said, "There aren't enough Halloween songs. You guys would be the perfect band to write some Halloween songs." And we kind of laughed, and I said, "Yeah, Monster Mash can't be the only Halloween song. There's got to be better rock songs out there for Halloween." La la la. And we laughed. And then I left and got in the van and thought, man, that is a great idea. And we are the perfect band to do this. And I love an assignment. So, one of the stops we made on that tour was to sightsee a little bit, and we saw the Apocalypse Tapestry in Angers, France. And I didn't really know much about it, but I walked into this castle where it's on display, and the tapestry takes up the whole castle wall of this room. It's huge and it's medieval and it's gory and it's picturesque and it describes in pictures what these medieval women imagined the gods were doing while they were destroying the royalty and the kings and the people on earth because they wanted to basically start over again. They thought it was a mess. And the gods were sort of partying and the people on earth were being destroyed mercilessly. It's an incredible thing if you ever get a chance to see it. So I walked out of there thinking, okay, that's the first song. Apocalypse. And that's when I wrote it. I wrote it in the van that day about, no kings and uh, laughing through the destruction and singing through the fire. And, and that became the very first single that we put out on Halloween Love Songs. From there, it's just, if you put your mind to it and you start thinking, zombies, where are zombies in our real life? They're in the corporate offices, in those little cubicles. That's where they are. They're on the metro. And the
Yes.
songs kind of write themselves when you get into that mindset.
Yeah. When I'm sat in the car waiting for people, and I look around, I just see everybody on the mobile phones, and that's where the zombies are in my mind.
You are so absolutely correct. And
Yeah.
I'm as guilty of it as anybody, but just maybe awareness is the first step. I don't know.
Saying that, I did see a photograph back in the set in the 20s, and it were on the train, and everybody's there with the newspapers. So it's not much different.
We like distraction. We are not a species that likes to sit still
No.
mentally or physically. And so when we are required to sit still, look at even on the airplane, there's a screen now in front of everywhere we go. We need to be entertained. Our brains have to keep moving if our bodies aren't, I think.
Yes, definitely. Talking about entertainment, your
Yeah.
keyboard work, your organ work, you know, I listen to Deep Purple, and I grew up listening to Deep Purple, and the organ work in their albums, their early stuff, were off the charts, absolutely magnificent, and they rivaled the lead guitar solos. You're the same. You're up
Aw,
there. You're absolutely fantastic, and I love
thank
it.
you.
It's brilliant.
Thank you. I was a classically trained piano player as a child and spent hours and hours and hours and hours and hours competing and playing Mozart concertos with orchestras and Beethoven and Chopin and all the things that I loved back then. And gradually, as I had less time, I moved to jazz, and then I had less time, and I moved to rock, and then I had less time, and I moved to punk. Um, and there comes a point, I think, when you play an instrument long enough that your hands are just working on muscle memory. You don't have to
Yeah,
look at them. You don't have to think about them. They know what to do.
yeah.
And it's a really cool state to achieve. I know other musicians who have played for a long time who are incredible on their instruments, and they say the exact same thing. It's like this Zen flow state where you just don't think anymore. You're not actively making thoughts. You're just music is just happening.
It's just an
Um,
extension of you.
yeah, it's just you
Yeah,
have a thought of what it should sound like, and it comes out of your hand, and I can't really explain it, but it comes from years and years and years and lots of training.
Yeah.
But
And
thank you.
I mean, Mozart, he was the original punk. He, you know,
Totally.
oh, totally. I love Mozart. Another part of my childhood group was listening to Mozart, and
Ah, it's
you
great.
know,
Me too.
I love my mum and dad. They had a quite diverse taste, and I listened to a lot of Buddy Holly, Elvis, female singers, Bonnie Tyler, Meatloaf, and classical music, Pavarotti, and and Mozart and Metallica.
And there's a theme in all of them, and that to me is this passion that you can hear. There's this
Yes,
intensity.
yeah,
When Mozart plays a trill, it's not just this boring little thing. It's this happy little incredible thing. When Beethoven hits a giant minor chord, you think you're about to die. It's so major. That's major minor. But it's so intense. And even Meatloaf. Let's talk about Meatloaf. I mean, the
oh,
intensity is there all the way through in
yeah,
every note of it. And I think that's what speaks to us, right? I
yeah,
hope
that's
so.
right. That's what it fills your soul. It's there. I mean, your mum was a physicist. Physicist, I can't speak now. Your dad were a scientist.
Yeah.
Yeah, your daughter a punk rocker.
They didn't mean to. Believe me, they fought it. They fought it every step of the way. My mom's still fighting it a tiny bit. Um, but yeah, it, I don't know where the music really came from because I can't really trace. My dad dabbled in some trumpet playing, but I can't really find another serious musician in the family anywhere. There
Yeah,
was talent hidden in little places in my mom's family. They were all great singers, but they didn't really do anything with it.
yeah,
My mom can sing an Indian, like a song from a movie that will just make you cry. She's so good at it, but
yeah,
that's not
yeah.
serious. So yeah, I don't know where it came from exactly, but for me, it's a defining thing.
Wow. Because what were it the sort of thing you've got your guitar and your dad come in, put that guitar down. I bought you this microscope, and I've got you
Happened
this
many
this
times.
test tube set.
My dad had a whole like we had this basement in our house when we were growing up outside of Chicago, and he filled it with little science kits and a ping pong table and like all these things that would keep us busy. There was
Yeah,
not a piano down there. You know? There was no stereo down there. That was not important to them.
yeah. I bet your mum loves it now. I bet she looks at you with very proud eyes.
She's coming around. She's coming around. I will say this, I don't have room to store all the records that I now have to ship and press. And so she very willingly stores my records for me, stacked up to the ceiling in her dining room in California,
Oh,
and ships them to my distributors and across the oceans. And she's having, I think, a really good time watching and just being shocked. She says to me often, "People buy these things?" Like, who's gonna buy all these t-shirts that I'm storing for you? Nobody's gonna buy. And then of course we run out in the first tour.
yeah,
It's a whole different world for her, definitely.
yeah. You'll have to introduce her to metalcore and say, "Mum, I could have been this sort of singer."
I'm trying. I'm trying to show her the path that could have happened.
But on a more serious note, you are a judge.
I was, yeah. I
You
retired in
was.
2022.
You're
I
retired
stepped
now.
down. Yeah, I started, it's a very strange story, but I started at such a young age working for the government in the United States that when you reach a certain number of what they call points, which is your age plus the number of years you've worked there, you can retire with your pension. And I stuck it out until the very last hour that it took to get that pension. And then
Yeah.
did the literal mic drop and went on tour that day.
Were you a very strict judge, or were
Oh
you were
no.
you were you very fair?
I guess that depends on who you ask. It's a very case by case type of question. But no, I was a judge in Arizona, which was a notoriously conservative politically
Yeah,
conservative state. There was a lot of notorious jails under a certain sheriff that we had that I had to send my prisoners to. For he was in my prisoners went to his care, if you can call it that, and it was a difficult situation for somebody with an empathic soul,
yeah,
and it was a difficult job for somebody with an empathic soul. I never saw myself in that role, but it sort of came about in a very backwards way. Um, and I felt very lucky to be sitting in those shoes. So I took it very, very seriously.
yeah. I cannot see you as a judge. I'm sorry. I'm trying to picture it. I'm like, no, can't see it.
Well, when we get off, if you want, I will privately email you a photograph of me on the bench.
Oh,
Not so private, it was in the newspapers, but
that'd be pretty cool. When did you retire?
2022, so 4 years ago.
Right. So you were already in the darts then. I would
Oh
love,
yeah.
I would love to have
I
turned up, being judged by you wearing a darts t-shirt.
No, I didn't have the t-shirt experience, but I did have in fact I was in the Love Me Nots before that. I was a judge
Yeah,
age 27. So my entire musical sort of international touring musician experience was while I was on the bench and while I was raising twin daughters.
yeah,
And I was living this life that was completely incompatible with the touring musician lifestyle. But I made it work because I wanted that so badly, and that was what I felt my life should be doing. And so I made it all work somehow.
yeah.
Um,
Excellent.
but yeah, every now and then, it didn't happen often, but every now and then, somebody would work up the courage to say, Judge, can we go off the record for a minute? And
Yeah.
then I'd say, sure, what's going on? And they would say, dude, I saw your show last night. It was great. La, 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 la. And I'd be like, oh God, now I have to recuse myself from your case. Sorry. You know? Don't tell me these
How can I
things.
send a fan down? You can't do it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you can't have any appearance of impropriety. That's one of our ethical judicial rules.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so if there's anything outside of the courtroom where you feel like you have a connection to somebody or somebody could think you have a connection, you
yeah,
have to take yourself off the case. So,
yeah. I get that.
yeah.
Um, there is actually a couple of producers called Judge and Jury. They'll be brilliant with you.
I had several offers from reality show people coming to me over the
Yeah,
years saying, this would be a great reality show. Can we put it together? And from a judicial ethics standpoint, I just couldn't do it.
yeah,
I really there's a lot of rules about cameras in the courtroom in Arizona, first of all, but also I just didn't feel like I wanted to blend the two lives. I really wanted to keep them separate.
yeah. The next thing I've got to ask about is your label. Is it Alternative Tentacles?
Is one of our labels. So
It's one of your labels, yeah.
yes, we've put out, well, as you know, 10 years worth of records, almost a record every year. And not every label can fit what the band needs at the right time, of course,
Yeah,
we tour in different places. We need records here. We need a lot of variables. So the first records came out on, well, the first two EPs came out
yes,
self-produced with no label. And then the next couple of records came out on Dirty Water out of London. And then the next three records, plus a 7-inch, came out on Alternative Tentacles. They
yeah,
still have the rights to those records and they're still producing them. They're still selling them. They're still making them.
wow.
That goes up through the album Boomerang.
Yeah, because they're
After
quite legendary, aren't they? Yeah, because of the Dead Kennedys single they released.
well, the label is run by Jello Biafra, the singer, the former singer of the Dead Kennedys, and
Yeah,
he also co-produced our album Snake Oil, and even does spoken word on it. So he was a big part of our lives for all those years. Lots of phone calls, not just about music, but as you know, he is politically oriented and had a lot of legal questions for me over the years too. So we had a very interesting connection, a really
yeah,
cool friendship. Still
yeah,
do, still
yeah.
do.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So that brings you right up to Nightmare Queens 2025 and of course Halloween Love Songs. So who are your labels for them two?
We signed those with Adrenaline Fix Music, which is out of Bordeaux, France. It's a
Yeah,
small label, but Adrenaline Fix is also our booking agency all over anywhere that's not in North America, all over the world. And what we found was that we were selling, it's a great problem, but we were selling so many records in Europe, especially on tour, that we needed to constantly repress these records. We would sell out of all the records we had in Europe on one tour leg, and we
yeah,
needed to repress them immediately. And to press records in America is almost twice as expensive. To get them shipped to Europe is insane for the
yeah,
numbers that we needed there. So we figured out we needed to press records in Europe, and we did that a couple times with Alternative Tentacles blessing, but it just wasn't a sustainable situation. And basically, Alternative Tentacles, it was difficult for them to have enough records and repress them constantly as we needed them.
yeah,
Rightfully, it's difficult for
yeah,
any
yeah,
label. The Adrenaline Fix is smaller, and we can get the attention and the resources that we need in Europe from them
yeah,
because they have a hand in it too with the touring that they help with. So it's this big conglomeration of me and Ludo Rio, who runs Adrenaline Fix Music, that we work together on the booking, on the pressing, on the selling, and then we have figured out how to press the records here too under that same label name so that we have
yeah.
enough here for our tours in the US when we need them. So it's an incredible situation that we, out of pure sheer necessity, figured out how to do. And we're still very good friends with Alternative Tentacles. So no hard feelings anywhere.
Oh, that's brilliant. Before we go on to your alter ego, which your jazz alter ego, with the darts, have you got any future European tour?
Have we ever? You probably know about this band, but we never actually stop and say the slides. Um, we are about tomorrow to leave for an Eastern USA tour. Then we take a little break while my other band goes out to Europe,
Yeah.
and UK actually. And then uh, we come back, we do a very short run up in the Pacific Northwest, but then we go to Japan and Australia in September. And we follow that with 2 months uh, all of October through the beginning of December, we will be all over Europe and the UK. Um, I don't know if we're going to make it up to Scandinavia or not, but it's a massive 2 month tour that's coming up. We were just in France in March, but this will be all over the place, including the UK this
Oh,
fall.
excellent. Well, expect an email from me asking for press credentials, so I can come and take your
Absolutely. And
photo. And
I'll say this, if anybody out there has trouble figuring out our dates, this is a little plug, but it's a good one. Sign up for our mailing list because um, I send you a quarterly email when something's going on so that you can get first dibs on the tickets, the press credentials, all the stuff that you need. And we're so busy, it's really hard if you just follow our social media to figure out where we are. So this email that you get is a really nice, succinct, easy way to figure that out and get the tickets that you want.
yeah, I've got to admit, I struggle with keeping up with the social media aspects of things. It's a young person's game, all this social media.
It's just a lot. It's you get a barrage of information, and just to keep it straight is hard.
Yeah,
So I really like mailing lists. I think if you can really tailor what you subscribe to, how much you want to get, and who you want to hear from, and it's more meaningful.
yeah. Listening to your music, there is a UK band who would be brilliant to like pair up with you, and they're called Ward 16. You need to listen to them.
I
I
don't
think
know
you,
them. I will
yeah,
definitely. Is
yeah.
that is
It's
it?
their first three albums tell the story of Psycho Barry, who's a serial killer, but it tells it in reverse.
Oh my gosh, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
What a cool idea.
I'll email it you later
Okay.
when we're
Yeah.
finished. But yeah, I
Yeah,
think
for sure.
you'd like Ward 16. I think you'll like them. They're right up your street, I think. It's,
Excellent.
as you can see, I don't know if you can see, I've got my Rocky Horror shirt
Oh,
on.
yes, you do. Look at
So
that. What a
I
cool
love
shirt.
I love Rocky Horror. I wear loud shirts, so when you're on tour and if I'm at your concert, I will be wearing something loud, so you'll know who I am. And
Excellent.
if you didn't like me after this, you'd be throwing things at me. Oh, that's in there.
Oh yeah, if you're in the front row at a darts concert, you're gonna get picked on anyway. So I
Yeah. Oh
guarantee
well, that's all right. Then I don't
it. Okay.
mind. I'm a big boy. I can take it. Before I keep saying it, before we go into your alter ego, Peaky Blinders.
Yes. How
Yes.
amazing was that? Oh,
Yes.
dream.
Yeah. There's some big names as well that were musically big names, like Nick Cave and Arctic Monkeys that were involved in Peaky
Oh my
Blinders
gosh.
and love
Peaky
you to death.
Blinders.
Yeah.
Yeah, Peaky
Love,
Blinders to me has always had one of the best soundtracks ever.
yeah.
Not just the theme song, but like through the entire series, every season, the music is insanely good. And
Yeah.
when our license, we have licensing agents there in the UK, Wipeout Music, who are very good to us, and they contacted me kind of out of the blue, and they're like, "Hey, this is a total fluke. We're not even really sure quite how this went down, but Peaky Blinders wants to use your song for this one scene," and I died right there. That was it. I was dead. I could die happy anyway. It was one of the coolest moments ever to hear that information, and then to see it on that season. And at the bottom, if you have the subtitles on, it says the name of the band and it has all the lyrics. And oh my God, it was a dream, just a dream.
Yeah. I bet it were. I mean, you've got to credit the bass in that. I think that's what won it over because it just fits in perfectly with the whole program, the whole vibe of it.
And that scene about a
Yeah.
mother considering whether she has to kill her son, it's like this perfect song. Love You to Death is the perfect song.
It
They
is,
nailed
yeah.
it.
Yeah. So love you to death for people that wants to go on their social media on Spotify and other Bandcamp and things like that, and they can download it, listen to it, and get some good airplay for you because it is a
It's
cracking
still
song.
it's still our number one downloaded song and played song on Spotify and all the streaming services because of Peaky Blinders. It's on all the Peaky
Yeah.
Blinders playlists and all that stuff. And yeah, I get my little printout of like from our services here in the US, and it's always like the number one song that we've got going on to this day. And that was years and years ago. So
Yeah.
incredible.
Oh no, it's well, Peaky Blinders. It's set in the Black Country, which is the home of Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath. That's where it were born. But obviously, Peaky Blinders is set well before Ozzy. He were old,
Well
but not that
before.
old.
Yes. Yes.
And it's not that far from us. It's only a couple-hour drive for us to go down to Birmingham. And there's a cool venue just outside in Wolverhampton, KK Steel Mill, which is run by KK Downing from Judas Priest. And
Oh,
it's
wow.
yeah, it's a brilliant venue. And there's a lovely pub there called the Gifford Arms as well. That's well worth checking out.
Okay, cool. I'll keep those in
Yeah.
mind. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a really cool place, is Birmingham, Wolverhampton, and all that area. And so obviously Peaky Blinders, we all watched it. We all tuned in.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad that everybody loves that. Everybody loves that all over the world.
Yes,
It hits all the right notes. It really does.
and I've heard that many versions of the Red Right Hand as well. It's such an amazing song.
Incredible. I mean, don't even get me started with Nick Cave. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So Black Violet,
Yeah. What do you want to
Black
know?
Violet, Dark Blue album, Dark Blue tour. It's jazz, like a
It's
jazz fusion sort of jazz
We don't know what to
experimental
call it.
thing.
It's an
Yeah,
ongoing joke with me and my bass player, Evan, that we don't know what to call it. And so, like, after every show, one of my bandmates will say, "Wait, I know what to call it. Let's call it Spy Cabaret." And we'll be like, "It's not really Spy Cabaret." Like, let's call it Jazz Adjacent. It's almost jazz. And so it's almost jazz. Yeah, it's
yeah,
almost jazz.
almost jazz. It's
Yeah.
jazzy. It's jazzy. You've only got one date in the UK though, London, July the 18th.
Well, only one posted. I think there's going to be a total of 2 days, but one of those days will have two shows. So
Right.
we will have some other announcements coming. The other one is going to be at a record store in London,
Okay.
more for the all ages daytime crowd. And then
Yeah.
there's the nighttime show that's going to be at the Lex, which love, 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 love that place.
Yeah.
Uh,
And of course, anybody who listens to jazz, we don't applaud. It's you've got to give the clicks.
well, you know what's funny about Black Violet is I'm still a punk rocker
Yeah,
uh, up front, and when you get me in front of a crowd live, it still takes off. One of my favorite quotes from my jazz bassist, Evan, was when we were training a new drummer for Black Violet. And Evan said to him, "Okay, before we run the first rehearsal, I know you've heard the recordings and they seem pretty chill, but there's something you have to know about Nicole. She likes to shred." And that's what happens. We get on stage and everybody starts shredding. Like it's crazy. It takes on a whole different, it's still dark, but it's got an incredible amount of life and noise and sound and glitz that you wouldn't expect hearing just the recordings. So I highly urge anybody who likes the darts to show up, as they have been doing in the US, to show up at a Black Violet show. I think you'll be very pleasantly surprised.
yeah. Oh, that's really cool. So for the Black Violets, where can we find your stuff? Can we buy your stuff? Is there any merch or is it just
Oh, yeah.
downloadable songs?
No, there's two LPs and an EP. We just put out the second LP, and it is available in the UK, I believe, at Juno Records, and they ship everywhere all over the UK. And also it ships from Europe if you can't find it in the UK somewhere. There's also all kinds of print on demand merch that you can get that ships from Europe. So there's a lot that you can get, and I'll tell you this, I on every darts tour, I take a little supply of Black Violet merch with me just in case somebody asks for it, and it always sells out first.
Yeah.
Um, it's so people
Yeah, but
for
you've
some
only got two things down, you know.
well, it's crazy. Like they want the record and they want the shirt and I'm like, you guys, in fact, I hear my bassist Lindsay saying at the merch table, this isn't the darts. And they're like, I don't care, I like the shirt, And so yeah, it's going really well and I've been just really it was supposed to be just this fun little side project and it's taken off way faster than I can keep up with it, to be honest. I'm having a great time trying to keep up with it, but it's been a lot and the tours have been amazing.
Have you ever thought about supporting the darts?
I've thought of it. My agents, for whatever reason, aren't crazy about it. They feel like they want to keep it separate, at least for now. And they are, the genres are pretty different. And I
Yeah,
think they want Black Violet to find its own feet where it can. I mean, obviously, we lean on the darts population a lot to get the word out, but I think they rightfully want the music to capture people's imagination by itself first.
yeah, yeah.
So we'll see.
I,
We'll see.
I get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a friend, Dale Radcliffe. He's the singer in COP and Crimes of Passion UK. And he's got a tribute band. He does Toto, Foreigner, and he's got War of the Worlds. And
Wow.
he's taken all three on tour. So he's literally going to be doing three performances, one after another.
I love
Insane.
that. I love it. I love it. Life is short. Do it all. Do it all.
Yeah, do it all. Who doesn't love War of the Worlds? It's just, So, and where can we find the darts merchandise and the darts website and things like that?
TheDartsUS.com. And you Brits know why we have the US in there.
Yes.
Because of the previous darts that the name the darts was supposed to be, this was like I said, it was supposed to be just coming out of the love me nots, just a quick thing, just see where it went. I chose the name for the little seams in women's blouses.
Okay.
Just because I wanted something that women knew about and men might not, and I thought it was cute. But it was supposed to be all very temporary. And then within 6 months, we were signed to Dirty Water, and it was too late. So it had already grown legs too fast, and so we had to figure that out. And so we added US to all the
Yeah.
online stuff just to differentiate it, especially being on a UK label right out of the box.
Yeah.
Um, we had to have that in there, and it's grown
So
with us. So the
the,
Darts
the, the funny
US.
the funny
Fine.
story was researching, seeing if you're doing any tours. And there are all these tours coming up for London. I'm looking and I'm writing it down, scribbling it down. No, that were actually for the darts game. the sports darts, and I'm like
It's
looking,
so
thinking,
hard.
you idiot! I've just had to rip up my paper and did all that research, but
Yeah, it's so hard. That's why I tell people the best place to find anything darts band related, this
yeah,
darts band related, is to go to our site, thedartsus.com. It's a link tree. So it'll send you, do you want tickets? It'll send you there. Do you want our social media? It'll send you there. You want our videos? It'll send you there.
yeah,
And you can very easily find everything you're looking for without having to do all that darts games type of
yeah.
research.
Excellent. Because I've got Linktree. It's pretty cool. I've got to say,
It's great.
it's just really easy. Just touch of a button and everything's there for you.
Yeah.
Right. Unfortunately, we're coming to the end of the interview, which has been a lot of fun. My face is actually, yeah, as Frank could say, even my face hurts when I smile.
That's how we like it.
But I have a question, which is always at the end of interviews. My beautiful lady Tracey gives me a question to ask, and it's tell us something about you that we don't already know.
Oh, wow. Um, I live on peanut butter and jam sandwiches. In the US, we call them peanut butter and jelly, PB&J.
Yeah,
And that usually makes people in the UK sick to their stomachs, but
yeah,
it is a very popular dish here for children. And it's a great vegan, transportable, convenient, cheap meal on tour in any
yeah.
country. It can stay in the van for weeks on end and it's fine. And yeah, and the other thing you might not know about me is that I'm always cold, and so I travel with a USB heated sleeping bag. I have one in Europe and one in the US. So when you think of me, imagine me wrapped up like a little burrito in my heated sleeping bag, eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That's my tour life.
We've actually got an electric blanket. It's the best thing we ever bought.
It's the best thing in the world. I love my electric blanket at home. Yes, yes.
Yes, yes, that is fantastic. My lady's always cold, and I understand where you're coming from with that.
Good.
Brilliant. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much for your time. Good luck with your new album and your future new album, which title you've not got yet, but well, we're at Slumber Party Slaughterhouse, and I really hope your Black Violet tour goes really well, and your London shows will probably absolutely rock.
Well, thank you. And yeah, if you'd like to come to any of them, let me know.
I will do. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Right. So I'll send you some emails as well to see you're as
Great.
judged like
Yes.
me.
Sounds good. All
All right.
right.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye bye.